Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. So I've taken a little bit of a break since the last episode because, as you might have seen, I was slightly struggling. I didn't feel like the ratings of the last couple of shows were very good, and I just needed to kind of take some stock, consult some experts, which I've done. Thanks for those who've commented and shared your wisdom with me, and hopefully I am back with a little bit more know-how to get the most out of this very hit and miss roster, to be honest. We have had a few new graduates since last episode. I would say no one really stand out. First one's this Clout, real name Ronald Danzig, 20-year-old Asian English male wrestler. He's from Newcastle in England, 6'4", 297 pounds, and obviously is a beefcake type. Good pure wrestling stats. He's okay, but nothing special at all. And I've given him a powerful dumbass gimmick. He's kind of the heel equivalent of Nate Hamilton, who's got the rambunctious meathead gimmick. Anyway, next one is Franklin Sealis, who is Ronald Greyjoy, 23-year-old white English male wrestler. And he's got some okay, basics in selling, but generally isn't particularly impressive at all. I've given him a gimmick called Funtime Frankie, which is based on the song, but essentially he is a wheeler dealer type. He's a kind of a pimp. He has loads of things he wants to sell. He's a bit of a kind of smooth talking kind of guy, but quite fun. He can offer a fun time. So he'll probably end up being a bit of a comedy jobber type. So another one, Icarus Hales, quite good in the ring actually. He's got some fundamentals there, which I like, but his performance stats need some work. He's 22-year-old from Canada, 5'9", 207 pounds, high flyer. And you see that reflected in the aerial and flashiness stats. He's a heel, and I've given him this Ascended Consciousness gimmick. I gave him the name Icarus Hales, obviously. Icarus, the old Greek myth of a kid that flies too close to the sun, kind of gets arrogant. And this guy has an Ascended Consciousness gimmick, so he's kind of like a new ager, I'm enlightened, that type of thing. So another one is Isabel Brunzel. She came to me as Irene Quarry, 19-year-old black American female wrestler, 5'2", 116 pounds, and not bad in the ring, and good star quality, so there's something there. Great brawling stats. So I'm kind of excited about this one. She's a heel naturally, and I gave her an elitist breakdancer gimmick. She's a breakdancer, but she's elitist. Who else? So Obadiah Malise, not Malice, Malise, and that's part of his kind of joke. He sort of corrects people about the pronunciation of his name. He's heel. I've given him a gimmick called the Scouse Scoundrel, so he's kind of devious and sneaky. 5'10", 208 pounds, from Liverpool, hence the Scouse Scoundrel. Good aerial presence. Something there. Those performance stats aren't good though. And his real name is Tully Patterson, 21. And then the next one is Piranha, Jay Holmes, 23-year-old white American male wrestler. So I've obviously called him Piranha. He's an obese, big heavyweight, 6'7", 315 pounds. And he's got good acting ability, good menace, not terrible in the ring. He's not too bad. I think the gimmick was defaulted as rebellious, and I've just changed it to like rebellious ass kicker. So he's just a bit of a kind of a wild brawler type, even though he can't brawl. Never mind. I've given him a mask, a piranha mask, just for something different, really. So anyway, yeah, a lot of power, a lot of resilience. Next one's Riley Mead, 18-year-old Hispanic English. His name is Stephen Robinson, but I've called him Riley Mead. 5'8", 196 pounds. And yeah, he's got some performance stats, but he's absolutely abysmal in the ring. I don't ever think he's going to get sort of even serviceable in the ring. So he might end up having to be more of a character, maybe a manager or something down the line. I've given him an autistic superhero gimmick. Maybe slightly on the line here, a little bit edgy, but the idea is that it would be portrayed in kind of a tasteful way. He would be a good kind of, I guess, advocate for autism awareness. But his autism, as you'll see soon, will be used against him controversially in the storylines. So I think that could be one that could be quite fun in terms of performance. I think he'd be very good. But in the ring, I need to keep him out of there as much as possible. So this is a manager, Trojan. Now, I've rejected a couple of non-wrestlers that come through the academy. I don't think I've rejected any wrestlers. But this non-wrestler, this manager, he looks very good. Charisma 91, microphone 91, acting 89. So a great mouthpiece. And I just thought, who would be a good person to pair him with? Who can't talk, but maybe has got menace or charisma or something. And I instantly thought, Ulysses Deus. Star quality 87, menace 78. And he's got a high profile around Europe, so he's very much someone to keep and protect at the moment. And I gave him last week the Brain God gimmick, which was rated poor, but essentially he is kind of a god figure, but the motif around him is Brain, because he looks a little bit like Brain from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So Trojan is kind of his worshipper, but will be his mouthpiece essentially. So yeah, and then I think we've pretty much got it all there. Yeah, we've seen her. Yeah, I'll just make sure. Oh no, just a quick look. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everyone. Yep. So basically I've instantly added these guys into the stories. Some of them I've given new storylines, some of them I've inserted into existing storylines. So, just to show you that first of all. Okay. So, last week we had Wilfredo Santos picked up a rib injury, I think a broken ribs. I'm told that he can work through that. He's going to be injured for the next couple of weeks, but he can work through it. I'm not going to really take the risk with him at the moment, so he's going to be off Crown and Glory, which is our first pay-per-view coming after this next Meteor. So I've added Obadiah Melise in this story. He's not aligned with Wilfredo Santos yet, but it's just to kind of cover for Wilfredo Santos' absence and give Obadiah Melise something to do. There's a new feud here between Clout and Piranha. A simple battle of the hosses. Nothing fancy, just power. So, yeah. And then, so from rags to burnt bridges. This is the story between Vicky Petrozelli and Victor DiBiase, which started last week. Petrozelli plucks DiBiase out of the homeless shelter. She sees his in-ring potential. However, he isn't very nice to her. His attitude is soured towards her and cracks emerge in a friendship with Petrozelli. I've added in Franklin Cielis and Isabel Brunzel, two of our newcomers, and that will be explained in a segment on Meteor. New feud, Icarus Hales versus Riley Mead. In a controversial angle, autistic Riley Mead tries to be a superhero. Icarus Hales, so-called enlightened master, asserts that Mead is not super and that what's wrong with him, not mentioning autism directly, is a result of his bad karma. So, pretty distasteful on Icarus Hales' part, very offensive, but that puts the real face kind of, the heel heat on him and the face kind of sympathy on Riley Mead. So anyway, and then the Triad feud. I've added Trojan as a supporting role to this kind of 3-on-3 feud that kind of developed last week. And what else I've done in the meantime, I have added a couple of stables. Free narrative is already there. Oh, I need to add in fact, I'm going to add, what's her name? Neve, who is Johan Fable's manager. So she'll be a member. So she's in. And then I've called the stable led by Ulysses Deis. He was approached by these guys last week to join. He didn't actually commit, but he will this show. But I've called it High Brain Threshold. Bit of a play on words. And then they're going to go up against the PMU, which stands for Pick Me Up, which is a play on Cairo Casanova's status as a pickup artist and Bruno Mancini's role as a motivator. So it's Bruno Mancini, Dark Sheik, and Cairo Casanova. Alright, and then I think did I add a tag team? Maybe. No. So no, we get on to our last Meteor before Crowning Glory, our first pay-per-view. And I've taken on board some of my consultants' advice. Done a little bit of studying maybe. And I'm just hoping for a better show rating this time. So we start with our Meteor title match. Go straight into a match for the first time since we've started. A Meteor 4-way. And that's between current champion Grady Kendall, Cesar Buenavista, Icarus Hales, and Alex Kyle Accardi. To work the crowd, Grady Kendall simply wins, Cesar Buenavista loses. 5 minutes. And then we've got an unveiling of 2 titles, 3 bouts, 2 titles. The Supreme title and the Dual titles, which are tag team titles. So, Emjoca Nebula, myself, and Mikey Novo show off the Supreme and Dual titles prior to Crowning Glory. Joe Hennig comes for a closer look. Allegro enter to a song poking fun at Joe Hennig and his seriousness. The Briscoes come out to a song of their own, a bad one, insulting Allegro, who they've been feuding with. And remember, Allegro made a kind of a mocking song, well, at least Joe Hendry did, against the Briscoes a few weeks ago. As Allegro and the Briscoes jive at each other, Mikey Novo and Emjoca Nebula separate them. Johnny Gargano comes out through the crowd and brawls with Hennig. Hennig smashes him with the Supreme title and says that's the closest he's ever going to get to it. 10-minute segment, lots of selling, entertainment, fighting. But basically, Allegro come out a bit better, but Joe Hennig wins the brawl against Johnny Gargano. So then the next segment, we've got Grady Kendall's coming back here. Riley Mead vignette plays talking about autism awareness. He calls autism his superpower. We cut backstage as Riley, in superhero garb, watches himself on a monitor. Fellow newbie Icarus Hales says Nebula isn't evolved enough to play the vignette he filmed, so they put on that trash instead. He calls Riley's issues his karma, not his superpower. Johan Fable and Neves Ciela Fox walk by. Neves tells Riley Mead that there's no such thing as heroes anymore, they're doomed, basically. Grady Kendall comes round the corner and berates Icarus, Neve and Fable with great wit. Riley thanks him for sticking up for him. So that comes out with Riley looking good, Grady Kendall looking good, and the heels looking bad. And then the next one is very Attitude Era style, archaic, evening gown tag, rated on set eye candy. Dark Sheik and Zaira Gallo versus Estea and Kira Ramos. And Dark Sheik pins Estea in 2 minutes. Well, no, not pins her, it just rips off her evening gown, I guess. Anyway, next segment. Dante Baltazar challenges Wilfredo Santos for Crown and Glory, but the latter reveals he has broken ribs. Baltazar accuses him of lying, but a pretty young nurse comes in and treats Santos, therefore confirming the injury, but Santos is sleazy towards her. Newcomer Obadiah Melise berates Baltazar for his insensitivity. He also sleazes on the nurse. This sets Dante off, unleashing upon the young Scouser a barrage of attacks. So Dante is kind of a moral protector type, and he gets the kind of success over Obadiah Melise, fighting and selling. And now we've got a bit of a battle with the women. There's a segment. Tessa Blanchard comes out, shows off the emerald ring she attacked Taryn with last week. It still has Taryn's blood on it. Tessa laughs that it was a gift from Taryn's daughter. Maya comes out and in broken English says this isn't okay. Mickey James arrives and tells Maya to be more like Tessa, ruthless. Remember, Mickey had a bit and Maya had a bit of a mentor relationship, but that went south quickly. Mickey says maybe Taryn's daughter should be more like her hero Tessa too, and not like her mother. Taryn runs out and she and Maya brawl with Mickey and Tessa. The faces get the advantage and embrace as the heels flee. That's a 10-minute segment. Now we've got a bit of a talking segment between EC3 and James Storm. I don't know why they've all been blacked out of this, but basically EC3 and James Storm have a bit of a kind of war of words. The kind of implication is they're not allowed to have contact before their match for the Promise title at Crown and Glory. So yeah, a simple war of words between EC3 and James Storm. They trade verbal barbs in equal measure as Doug Williams enforces a no contact rule. The segment ends with a tag challenge. So Doug Williams and EC3 versus Storm, a partner of his choosing. Storm says he has no partner and has no friends backstage to ask. Dante Baltazar comes out to step up to the challenge of being Storm's partner. So Doug Williams and Dante Baltazar, cameo appearance only. 10 minutes. And then we have the match, a continuation of the segment before. Maya and Taryn versus Tessa and Mickey. And it ends with Tessa pinning Maya, but Maya being kept strong. Queen flash pinfall finish. And Maya and Taryn kept strong. Okay, and then this one. Newcomer Clout debuts, flexing his muscles. Alex Kyle Accardi comes out wearing a muscle suit, mocking Clout. Clout brutally attacks him as Linus Finkel comes out and laughs, while AKA's manager Fidel Quebrada winces. Other newcomer Piranha makes the save, staring Clout down menacingly as he flees. 6 minutes. In the next segment, after being provoked, Nate Hamilton attacks Cesar Buenavista. They brawl hardcore style through the backstage area. Police catch Hamilton in the act, I guess abusing a weapon, and take him away as Buenavista laughs. Okay, the segment's titled, Will Ulysses Deus join Ultramantis and Ramos? So Mauro Ranallo questions his commentary partner, Ultramantis Black, about his feud with Unrequited Love, Dark Sheik, Cairo Casanova, and now Bruno Mancini. Black leaves the desk and demands an answer from Ulysses Deus about joining his new group. Deus comes out and shakes his head no. Kira Ramos enters, flirts with him, but he's still not interested in joining them. But then Trojan, who's clearly an acolyte of Deus, like a religious nut of his kind of, brain god gimmick, enters and convinces him to join so that he can make everyone bow to the brain god. Ulysses accepts. The PMU, which is Bruno, Cairo Casanova, and Dark Sheik, they arrive and trash talk the newly formed stable. So that's setting up our Triad titles match at Crown and Glory. Next match is Free Your Narrative, EC3 and Doug Williams versus James Storm and Dante Baltazar. It's a wild brawl. Doug Williams gets the pin on Dante Baltazar. James Storm kept strong. And it's a tainted finish because Dante Baltazar was distracted by Obadiah Melise and distracted by Wilfredo Santos. And this Doug Williams getting the pin is deliberate because it's going to be a triple threat at Crown and Glory. EC3 versus Doug Williams versus James Storm, even though EC3 and Doug Williams are aligned. Okay, and then the segment's From the Street to the Dojo. So this is Vicky Petrozelli offers big money to rough-looking Franklin Cialis on the street. Franklin rejects it, saying he's making serious money as a pimp. Vicky knows he's bullshitting. Victor DiBiase, walking with Vicky, insults Franklin. So Victor and Vicky get to a training facility where Vicky roughs up Victor. He angrily says he doesn't want to train with her anymore. He goes outside and sees street dancer Isabel Brunzel and asks her to train with him, obviously thinking she looks very athletic and stuff. Franklin Cialis is still outside. He shows interest in training with them for wrestling too. But Isabel says, I'll throw you around a bit, basically. And they all go back into the gym and Isabel kicks Franklin's ass. So the girls both get one over the guys in this training dojo. Okay, and then I've got a segment here I titled The Fart Massage. This is really like trashy segment. So Eliza and Zara, continuing their new friendship from last week, massage each other on a bench. However, flatulent noises cause annoyance between the two. Both deny it was them and accuse the other of farting. They eventually walk out of the locker room and go separate ways, irritated at each other. The camera then pans back and we see Estea hiding under the bench. She farts, confirming it was her all along, and smiles mischievously that she's put a little bit of a rift between these new friends. And because of the language barrier of Zyra and Estella, there's literally no dialogue. And then quite a small minor segment, Nebula hypes Crown and Glory. Oh, it's not a minor segment anyway. As Emjoca Nebula previews Crown and Glory, The jobbers compete with each other through a variety of party tricks to get his attention so they can be added to the show. Nebula finally gives in and announces they will be a part of a battle royal at Crown and Glory, with the winner getting a Meteor title shot whenever they want. So the jobbers, just to remind you, Blue Buzzard, Scaramouche, and Ratso. And then in our main event, Johnny Gargano and Allegro versus Joe Hennig and the Briscoes. And it ends, still the show match, with Joe Hennig pinning Hendry. And it's a decisive finish, so it's all clean. And Joe Hennig, before the title match against Johnny Gargano at Crown and Glory, he comes out on top. So let's run the show and see what happens. And that is a terrible start. Segment rating 5. Well, it's a match, actually. I should have scripted this. I should have scripted that. I should have got them all to keep it simple. That's bad. Okay, this opening segment, 44. Jay Briscoe was very poor when trying to improvise dialogue. A lot of them enjoyed being off script, but not Jay Briscoe. Never mind. I'm happy with that. This angle with Riley Mead, Icarus Hales, Johan Fable, Neves Yellow Fox and Grady Kendall, 26. Nah. Riley Mead's gimmick adequate. Okay. This evening gown match, 37. So that's good. That's all right. Kept it very short, so that probably helped. Angle with Dante Baltasar, Obadiah Melise and Wilfredo Santos, 24. And the Scouse Scoundrel gimmick was great. Nice, 40. This brawl between Taryn and Tessa and Maya and Mickey was good. Oh, nice. This is a good rating. EC3, James Storm, their kind of verbal jousts got 53. And they were without a script and they were brilliant. So, performance of EC3 was fantastic. He is a good member of my company. And then the match, the women's tag match, 40. It could have been better with the athletes in the ring, but I'll take it. Oh dear, the angle with Clout, Alex Cardi, Linus Finkel, Fedor Quebrada and Piranha, only 18. There wasn't quite enough star power in the segment to have Clout to fight him for that long. Okay. And the angle with Cesar Buenavista, Nate Hamilton, 21. Meh, okay. The triad, the kind of stables angle, 33. And Trojan had a great rating for his gimmick. That's okay, it's alright. The tag match, EC3, Doug Williams, James Storm, Dante Baltasar, 37. Dante Baltasar clearly was the weakest link. And yeah, so it proved. I should have put in the note for him to keep it simple. But he's not terrible in the ring, actually. But his performance there, not great. Doug Williams has declined massively, even in the last few weeks. He's due to retire in the ring in a couple of months, but I might have to show him the door a bit quicker. Yeah, this gimmick wasn't. This angle wasn't particularly great. Isabel Brunzel's new gimmick, adequate. Franklin Cialis, Funtime Frankie gimmick, poor. Bit of a disaster all around. Yeah, might have to end this story fairly quick. And then the angle, the fart massage, 21. Zyra Gallo is held back by the language barrier. Yeah, but it wasn't a microphone type deal. Never mind. And then the jobbers and the preview, 21. Yeah. How about the main event then? Let's have a look. 52, that's great. So Hendry, 32. Quinlan Forte, 28. Johnny Gargano, 62. Amazing. Briscoe, 49. Mark Briscoe. Jay Briscoe, 48. Joe Hennig, 50. And that is why Johnny Gargano and Joe Hennig are the main event. Great in ring. Quinlan Forte benefited from having a hot new move. Alright, I think this is going to already be better than last week. 24 people. By the way, I had it in the stateroom. It was our first ever show in the States, in America. So we finally came out of the UK and we've gone into America. So we're going to branch out a little bit, but have more shows more often than not in the UK, because that's our base. Finish show. Overall rating 49. I suspect that will be higher than any week that we've done so far. So it's a step in the right direction. Show increased our popularity in 54 regions. So finish show. So there's something to work with there. I've already worked out a few mistakes I've made. I think I'm slightly hamstrung by so many kind of raw talents. But I'm hopefully learning how to get the best of them. And it really is about maximising the quality talent that we've got already. You'll notice that pretty much the matches were mostly dominated by our existing talent. So, yeah, let's just go to the show history. Okay, so 49, yeah, and 24. Last week was 33, 18. Week 2, I guess, was 42 and 21. Week 1 was 41 and 12. So, yeah, that is definitely our best rating. So I'm happy with that. But, yeah, hopefully we can get better and better and better. But our rating stays the same. 4,200 viewers. We're not really getting anywhere near above that. So that's a bit of a concern, if I'm being honest. But these things take time, and we're starting from the very bottom, so I might have to be patient. So, and it looks like we've got another Academy graduate, Dale Ambrose. He hasn't got an avatar. Now, do you know what? I'm in the position where I can, if this guy doesn't cut the mustard, I'm going to reject him. Because we've already got a big roster now. I don't need to pad it out anymore. And if he's not good enough, if he doesn't have anything to offer, either in terms of performance or in the ring, then I'm sorry, but no. But let's have a look. I'm not seeing anything there. So I'm going to reject this guy. You know, he's not bad charisma, not bad mic, but he's terrible in the ring. His brawling's okay, but he's not special. So, do you know what? Decline. And you know what? That feels pretty good. We have got, we've got into the place now where we've got a fair few people on our roster. We've got a lot of options. We've got a few talented people. And we can afford to be a bit more picky. So hopefully we'll have a few more kind of really we'll have some more impressive young talent coming through, hopefully soon. And so maybe we can start to churn some of the lesser names out. But yeah, anyway, join me for the next episode when we're going to have our first pay-per-view, Crown and Glory. So yeah, look forward to seeing you then. Take care.